आज प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में अध्यक्षता में कैबिनेट की बैठक हुई। उसके पहले कैबिनेट कमेटी ऑन इकोनॉमिक अफेयर्स की भी बैठक हुई और दोनों में महत्वपूर्ण निर्णय लिए गए। दीपावली के पहले की ये बैठक थी और उसमें बहुत ऐतिहासिक निर्णय दोनों हुए हैं। भारत की एक कमी रही कि उत्पादन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग जीडीपी का केवल 16% हिस्सा है, यानी वो ज़्यादा नहीं है। ये मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हब बनना है तो ज़्यादा चाहिए। हमारे यहाँ आयात ज़्यादा होता है, निर्यात कम होती है। आज तक निर्यात और उत्पादन बढ़ाने के लिए बहुत सारे प्रयास किए गए, लेकिन उसमें ज़्यादा सफलता नहीं मिली। आज मोदी सरकार ने यह फैसला किया कि 10 उत्पादन के प्रमुख क्षेत्रों में उत्पादन आधारित प्रोत्साहन राशि यानी प्रोडक्शन लिंक्ड इंसेंटिव दिया जाएगा। और कितना? लगभग 2 लाख करोड़ का। ये उत्पादन भी बढ़ाएगा, निर्यात भी बढ़ाएगा और रोजगार भी बढ़ाएगा। आत्मनिर्भर भारत को साकार करने की दृष्टि से यह निर्णय महत्व का होगा। एक मोबाइल और मेडिकल डिवाइसेस के बारे में पहले ही घोषणा हो चुकी, लेकिन आज का निर्णय 10 क्षेत्रों का इतना महत्वपूर्ण है कि लगभग 2 लाख करोड़ दिवाली के मौके पर एक उद्योग क्षेत्र को बहुत बड़ा तोहफा, और उससे देश का उत्पादन बढ़ेगा, निर्यात बढ़ेगी, रोजगार बढ़ेगा। तो ये बहुत है। इसके परिणाम भी आने लगे। मोबाइल की अनेक कंपनियां बाहर से भी आए। द एफडीआई हैज कम, फॉरेन कंपनीज हैव कम एंड आर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इन इंडिया। एंड देश के भी लावा, माइक्रोमैक्स, कार्बन, जेन भी कंपनियों को इसका लाभ मिलेगा। इससे ग्लोबल चैंपियन तैयार करने की कल्पना है। और पीएलआई हर साल उत्पादन बढ़ने पर और एक साल, तो ये एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। केवल मैं 10 सेक्टर बताता हूं, फिर दूसरा विषय, और दोनों विषय आर्थिक है संबंधित। तो फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर व्हेन शी इज हियर आपके सवालों का जवाब भी वो देगी। तो इसमें एडवांस केमिस्ट्री, सेल बैटरी है 18,100 करोड़ रुपए। ये एस्टिमेटेड एक्सपेंडिचर ऑन पीएलआई है। जो प्रोडक्टिविटी लिंक बोनस मिलेगा 4%, 5%, 6%, तो ये डायरेक्ट उत्पादन के बाद ही मिलेगा, निवेश के बाद मिलेगा। इलेक्ट्रॉनिक और टेक्नोलॉजी प्रोजेक्ट 5,000 करोड़ रुपए। ऑटोमोबाइल एंड ऑटो कंपोनेंट्स 57,000 करोड़ रुपए। फार्मास्यूटिकल्स एंड ड्रग्स 15,000 करोड़ रुपए। टेलीकॉम एंड नेटवर्किंग 12,000 करोड़ रुपए। टेक्सटाइल 10,000 करोड़ रुपए। फूड प्रोडक्ट्स 10,000 करोड़ रुपए। सोलर फोटोवोल्टिक 4,500 करोड़ रुपए। एसीज एंड एलईडीज 6,200 करोड़ रुपए। और स्पेशलिटी स्टील 6,300 करोड़ रुपए। कहने का मतलब है कि देश में उत्पादन बढ़े, भारत उत्पादन का हब बने, यहां से निर्यात बढ़े, क्योंकि देश की मांग जितनी है वो तो उत्पादन होता, लेकिन उससे ज्यादा उत्पादन होगा तो बाहर जाएगा। और सभी प्रकार के उत्पादन बढ़ेंगे तो निर्यात भी कम होती है, आयात कम होती है और उसके साथ साथ रोजगार बढ़ता है। तो ये समाज के सभी वर्गों के और सभी क्षेत्रों के फायदे का एक बहुत ऐतिहासिक फैसला आज मोदी सरकार ने लिया है। दूसरा जो निर्णय है वो है पब्लिक प्राइवेट पार्टनरशिप। आज तक जो फिजिकल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर्स है उसको वायबिलिटी गैप फंडिंग मिलता था, अब सोशल सेक्टर में भी मिलेगा। तो उसके बारे में निर्मला जी बताएगी और फिर आपके सवालों का स्वागत है।
धन्यवाद सर। मैम।
Thank you, Prakash ji. As was correctly mentioned by Prakash Javadekar ji, today the cabinet has taken two very important decisions, both of which, if you ask me, at a time like this, is going to give the right impetus for the economy, because we are looking at one, Atmanirbharta, two, making sure that India will be a part of the global value chain, and three, ensuring that critical sunrise sectors get the necessary support from the government so that we are able to build an India which is strong enough to service its own domestic market, but also making sure that we are able to link up with the global value chains. So the decision to have one more PLI, productivity linked incentive based scheme, like the one which was earlier announced, and it's already gone to a good start. You know that the PLI scheme which was announced had already addressed the good need which was prevailing of the telephone manufacturers, mobile phone manufacturers, and so on. Therefore, keeping in mind, essentially to make sure that job creation happens, the selection of sectors have been determined on that basis. Job creation, sunrise sectors, looking at the GVC, getting India to link into the global value chain, and above all, the larger umbrella principle that we have to have self-reliant India. So it also partly answers the question which is frequently asked, does Atmanirbharta mean inward-looking policy? Not at all. We are yet again proving that the policy that we are taking up, even in the PLI, the productivity-linked incentive through which we want manufacturers to come into India, is clearly to say we want to build on our strength, but yet link with the global value chains. So India should become a manufacturing hub, has always been the call of our Honorable Prime Minister. Investment hub, you know, recently held this summit meeting with some of the best big investing funds, global investment funds. They have been meeting him, he addressed them. So this PLI is also aimed at getting more investment into the country. And the government is giving the financial support so that these financial incentives will make it attractive to produce in India, and selection of sectors have been based on that. So if you were to look at it from the broad principle of Atmanirbharta, pharmaceutical industry is one of the selected sector. White goods manufacturing, ACs, LED bulbs, and things like that, even that is another. A third one is a specialized steel. India has enough capacity to produce in large integrated steel factories, good steel. But there are some specialized steel which we are inevitably importing. So when we give incentive for having a productivity linked incentive scheme for manufacturing of specialized steel, we expect that our need for specialized steel for producing such commodities which can be both addressing the demand which exists within the country and also aim at exporting such products which require specialized steel. So from the point of view of Atmanirbharta, the selection of these sectors have been pharmaceutical, white goods manufacturing, and specialized steel. But if you were to look at it from the global value chain through which we want our manufacturers to also get into the global value chain, again, pharmaceutical, which gets covered under the Atmanirbharta, is also one. Then you have the solar PV modules, whose production we want to incentivize by giving the PLI. We also have the telecom and networking equipments, for which we'll give PLI. And then, more importantly, manufacturing of automobiles and automobile components. So if you're looking at getting into the GVC-based arguments, these are the sectors which have been chosen for the PLI, which is going to get covered through this announcement. Labor intensive, yes, we have used that measure also. Textiles and food get covered under that. So this package of the PLI covers 10 different sectors, and I'm glad to say, initiated of course by Niti Aayog, Finance Ministry has worked together with these many ministries: MeitY, heavy industries, pharmaceutical, telecom, textiles, food processing, new and renewable energy, DPIT, the Industries Ministry, and also the Ministry of Steel. So the 10 different sectors chosen address the question of Atmanirbharta, address the question of global value chain linkage, address the question of labor-intensive sectors where we want jobs to be created and therefore investments to come in. Above all, sunrise sectors. Sunrise sectors in which India has grown into specializing. What are they? Advanced cell chemistry, planning for advanced cells, and the entire chemistry which goes with it will all be invested in, and therefore productivity linked incentive will be provided for that. Broad spectrum of things which come under electronics. High efficiency solar PV cells are all sunrise sectors which are also part of this set of 10 sectors for which the current announcement of the PLI is applicable. Prakashji rightly said, over the next 5 years, this is going to be estimated, this is today estimated, that the new PLIs that we are bringing in for these 10 identified sectors will involve an expenditure of about 2 lakh crores. So this is something which we are very happy to announce that the Cabinet has given clearance for this. And on this, immediately, the concerned ministries and departments will be implementing it. They all have had enough discussions to know how to go about it. They will start it. The final proposal of the PLIs of the individual sectors will be appraised by an empowered group, which is the Finance Committee, Empowered Finance Committee, and then approved by the Cabinet for each one of them. So this is something which I think will immediately give an impetus for greater investment and also strengthening these sectors. So that's about the PLI. The other is one continuation of a scheme which exists, but also revamping it to an extent that the financial support which has been extended all these years from 2006 of viability gap funding, or providing a viability gap fund for economic infrastructure, will now be extended even for social infrastructure. From 2006, that this scheme which exists of the viability gap funding, where 20% of the total project cost was given as the viability gap fund by the central government, 20% of the total project cost which was given, had continued from 2006. We shall continue that. Till now, about 34,000 crores of rupees have been the total value of the projects which were brought under the scheme, of which the viability gap fund which was provided by the center is about 5,500 crores. We shall continue that scheme for the economic infrastructure. But what is now being offered is under two different schemes, viability gap funding for social infrastructure. What are they? Social sector activities which relate to wastewater treatment, water supply, solid waste management, and health and education sectors. So in these sectors, if there are projects through which private participation can be sought, central government would extend 30%, and the state governments would have 20-20 for the social sector, and then the project pilot will get 30-30, right? Sorry, yes. So the economic thing which continues will continue with the 20%, and the state also puts in 20%, then the private party comes up with a 60%. Whereas in the social sector, where we are now announcing that we will make available the viability gap funding, 30% will be given by the center of the total project cost. Another 30 will be either the department which deals with it or the state government which wants it. And the rest, 40%, will come through private participation. Now, if that is one of the way in which water management, wastewater treatment, hospitals, schools can be done, we are also giving a sub-scheme, which is a second scheme, which will approve demonstration and pilot projects under the social sector. In this, we are willing to provide, together with the state government or the department considered, up to 80% of capital expenditure and up to 50% of operation and maintenance costs. So this one would be for any pilot measures which anybody wants to take up or demonstration projects. That will be treated slightly more favorably, but even in this case, it will be more private participation. The central government will also, under this scheme, the second scheme which is being announced for the social sector today, the central government will also bear 40% of the total project costs, and that's another 40 will come from the state. More important is about 25% of the operational cost of the first 5 years will also be borne by the state government. So with this, we expect to be able to quickly ramp up social infrastructure in this country, provide that facility for, let's say, NGO groups or groups which are interested in social infrastructure. Government will extend what till now has been given only for the economic infrastructure. The core sector infrastructure will now be available for them also and for the social sector also. This in broad is my opening statement. If you have any other question, of course, with Prakash Javadekar ji giving the clearance, I can answer some.
Thank you very much, ma'am. 60.
मैम मैं लक्ष्मण हूँ CNBC आवाज़ से। मेरा सवाल यह है कि प्रोडक्शन लिंक्ड इंसेंटिव स्कीम के तहत जिन 10 सेक्टर को इंसेंटिव दिया जाएगा, इसमें दो केस आ रहे हैं। एक केस तो सपोज करिए कोविड की वजह से उन्होंने प्रोडक्शन अपना हॉल्ट कर दिया है या फिर नहीं किया है, तो क्या उनको भी मिलेगा, उनका बेस क्या होगा? और दूसरा, कोई नई यूनिट ग्रीनफील्ड प्रोजेक्ट लगा रहे हैं, तो क्या वो भी PLI का फ़ायदा उठाएंगे? और पहले से भी PLI कुछ सेक्टर में है, क्या ये स्कीम उससे अलग है या फिर सेक्टर को इंक्लूड किया गया है?
अगर ये 10 जो आज अनाउंसमेंट हुआ सेक्टर्स को बिलोंग करते हैं तो वो अप्लाई कर सकते हैं, बिल्कुल। मगर अगर वो ग्रीन फील्ड है, अभी फ्रेश अप्लाई कर रहे हैं, वो बिल्कुल अप्लाई कर सकते हैं। मगर जो पहले से हैं उसके बारे में वो अप्लाई करने में हमें पता चलेगा कि वो कौन सा कैटेगरी वाले. At the moment, we've not capped the number of companies which have to apply. Obviously, once they apply, we'll see what is the offtake is like.